What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the back nine of the Queensland Open practice round. Maybe. That's a shot, now fade. Oh yes, Warwick. Oh yes, Warwick. First practice round of the year. Apologies that I haven't been able to get these out for you local disc golfers this year. It's been a bit tricky to find the time to do that, but I figured it's Queensland Open. It's my first major of the year. It's a major. There's people coming from all over Australia wanting to play this course. So I've got to showcase it because it is a beautiful course and they have beefed it up a little bit. They have put in some OB, some different tee pads to make things trickier. And so far it's been a lot of fun. If you haven't caught the front nine, you can click the little thing here, little card here, or the link will also be down below to check that out. So make sure if you're coming from interstate, check out these videos. Let me know what you think and what you think of the course, but hopefully it can give you guys a bit of insight into what to expect when you come here. We're kicking off with hole 10, par 3, 141 meters, kind of a signature hole here. We're off the top of a bit of a hill. The basket's tucked away in a clump of trees down the end. I don't think there's really any OB to worry about. It's a bit of a rip to get it there, so I'm keen to see some of the big throwers try their hand at it. Yeah, it's just like try and throw it down there. Back end that kind of turns, maybe fades back at the end to give yourself a look. You've got a bit, I'm not sure if these will still be here on the weekend. They might be. The sand and dirt piles off to the right can kind of be interesting. You got to avoid those. So big rip, nuke, as always, baby. So it's got to turn a little bit more. See, I'm throwing it a bit high, as you guys would have seen in the front nine. That'll give me a long putt from almost pin high. That's kind of the safe play. You're not going to end up in the trees on the right. It's a fun hole to throw a few off the top. So we'll throw another nuke, one of the newer ones. Shout out Disc Golf Warehouse. You can grab all your disc golf needs, plastic wise, from Disc Golf Warehouse. I'm going to see if this one can get me closer for a birdie look. Definitely flippier on the flippier side. It's not closer. Better nose angle though. As I mentioned in the front nine, it is so much calmer here today than I think it's ever been out here at Pine Rivers Park. Usually there's a lot of wind, especially off this tee. There's usually a headwind, which definitely makes it more interesting because, like my second shot did, the discs flip and go on that right side, which can be a little tricky up and down potentially. So you've got to take that into consideration with the wind. So here we got a little throw-in opportunity, so we'll try and make a highlight happen here. Big low. Yeah. All right, hole 11, 220 meter par 4. Probably one of, if not the hardest holes on the course. If you guys haven't seen the Cameraman versus the Crusher series at Warwick, my cameraman and I started at the Ronga Memorial. You can check it out here. Ton of fun, basically where Warwick plays the hardest hole on the course. And so I think this is probably one of them, but we would love for you guys to decide which one is the hardest. So comment down below which hole you'd like it to take on, and either in the lead up to or after the tournament, we'll film him saying what score he can get. So I think hole 2 is definitely a good candidate. Hole 11 is up there as well, but whichever one gets the most comments or likes of the comments, we'll go with that. Off the tee here, you can go a backhand down the right side and then face through the little tunnel. Just a Mando, you got to go to the left of. So if there's wind, it can flip it up and get a bit swirly there. Or the safer play is, I think safer play anyway, is forehand left side. As long as you get it kind of past the initial clump and into the fairway, it probably makes for a longer second shot, but I think potentially safer. So I'm going to go that one first and then see how that goes. You might go back as well, but what the heck? That's not it. I gotta keep it lower, flatter. Okay, that's a shot. Yeah, that was close. This hole is very tough to birdie. It takes 2 very good shots, and it can work back and off or forehand off the tee, but 2 very good shots to get the birdie. And as soon as you get off the fairway a little bit on any of your shots, it then becomes tricky to even get par. So I think that par is a fantastic score. I'd be happy with that all 3 rounds. A birdie would be amazing because, like I said, it takes a lot of good shots. Oh, it takes 2 very good shots to get that. Okay, good point. I think it's a flat backhand, maybe just a bit of flip up and rights really straight and fade towards the basket. So we're going new. Oh, into the tree. Okay. That was close, a bit of an angle, but I could probably still par from both of those. We'll see. Like that, 35, 80 meters maybe to the basket. So wait. I'm trying to gauge it down, but that's okay. Got to play. This hole is actually, funnily enough, where I had an infamous, not really, meltdown and kind of threw away the tournament at the 2023 Queensland Open in MA1. Took a double bogey, then went, I think, bogey after that or something. It was not good. Was sitting with the league through 9, but then, yeah, struggled. So this hole, like I said, if you can get out with a par, you're feeling pretty good about that, I would think. Okay, hole 12. They have combined 2 regular holes to form one 236 meter par 4. Basically, if you can get it out to or a little bit past where the normal basket is for this hole, which is about 120 meters away, that sets you up well for the second shot. So I've heard that rollers can be really good on this hole. Unfortunately, I don't have a disc that will do that, so that is a viable option though. But otherwise, it's just a big sort of hyzer out to the right side, and you're trying to push straight. You've just got OB path right and beyond to worry about. You don't want anything flipping over to that, but anything that sort of snaps out straight, goes as far as you can, is going to give you a good approach, because then you've got kind of the next hole, which is, or the second part of the hole, which is going into a clumping of trees, and there's a few lines to hit there. As always, I'm with you, baby, and trying to clump a hyzer at that right side, let it fade in. That, let's see, get fading, on that. That just kept on fading, so that's OB, that is not what you want to do. We'll try again. Gee. Again, but that's a good shot. Wow, that's a good shot. Okay, that's prime. So I don't know, maybe there's some headwind out there that I can't feel under here. Because those both kind of flipped up and got me more concerned, but that second one's what you want. Definitely happy with where this second shot landed. I'll play from here. Basket is sort of in those top of trees. I'm gonna try and pop a forehand low and just try and get to the tree line. If I can skip in there, great. It might be a bit of a pump, but that's all we can do. Oh, that's not it at all. That's actually going to be a tricky up and down from there too. Ideally, if I could get my forehand to work, you'd be landing or skipping up through this gap here, which would give you a shot to the basket. I'm over to the right, which is not good, because it's going to make a tricky shot to get through all these trees into the basket through there. So that's the line you want to go through, kind of left of it, into that gap there. Thankfully, I do have a bit of a line here. You can definitely end up in worse places, but it doesn't make it easy still. I must be trying to put a little loom up there. Just trying to save power this time. That'll be a little deep. That's fine. Yeah. That's how you get par. Got to shout out Circle 1 for their support. If you have been thinking, hey, I would like to get some disc golf apparel that's designed for disc golf, then look no further than Circle 1. They're based in America, and they make disc golf apparel specifically designed by disc golfers for disc golfers. So Exhibit A, you've got this space polo. They've also got new ones that have a bladed collar, and those are really sweet. The hat as well, this is one of the older versions. They've got new ones. They've got trash panda hats there. They've got accessories as well to match. So all your apparel needs, go check out Circle 1. They've also just got lifestyle stuff too. So they've got t-shirts, they've got hoodies, they've got quarter zips. Everything that you might need is there, and it is the top quality. So go check them out. The discount link will be down below, or you can use this code at checkout. Go check them out. Thanks for the support. Let's get into hole 13, which is a par 3, 99 meters, probably the tightest gap on the whole course. It's really shapes up well for a backhand, flat to hyzer, but then fades. It kind of goes over the hill and gets out to the basket. If you can make it all the way through the gap, you're laughing. You're really happy about that. An early tree kick makes par very, very difficult. I'm going to take a distance driver. Probably don't need as much speed, but I just like to hit it on hyzer through this gap, then let the disc work back to the left, and hopefully with everything and give me a putt. But this is my nemesis hole. Unfortunately, the video cut out right before I threw, but I actually nailed the gap, so I'm really happy about that. I'll try and do it again just to prove it, but I threw a really good one just before. See if I can repeat it. Yep, it's a little high. Miss a tree. Yeah, that's almost better. Woo! This is no longer my nemesis hole. Yay! Well, it turns out you didn't even need to see the first one because the second one was better. First one was still fantastic. We'll give it a putt. Bag on. Little right. Okay. But the first one actually hit the kind of the intended line, a bit more inside. Thought it was too high, but look at this. Absolutely parked. So that's a cool birdie. If you guys have been noticing that for the shots, the filming has been a little less dynamic than what it was on the front nine. I apologize for that. That's because Warwick's had to just duck off to an appointment, but he should be back hopefully soon. So just spam some "we miss you, Warwick" in the comments. He'd appreciate that. Okay, I believe this is hole number 14, par 3, 115 meters, using an old tee pad that we haven't really used for a while. That's not in any of the normal layouts. So that's kind of cool. Not too much to say here. The basket finishes just to the left and up a hill, so just want to push distance driver probably out straight, have it fade somewhere in those trees in the middle and skip up towards the basket. So I'm gonna go with a force. Then we've also got some stable nukes that I want to try out as well. It's a bit inside. Actually, that's pretty good. That's pushing forward. That's just a touch short, but I'm not too mad about that. Got two nukes. Got just the Z nuke first. You can grab these from discgolfwarehouse.com.au. Use the discount link down below. That's nice. That's really nice. In front of it. Oh, no skip. Hit something soft. I don't think you can get these ones. This is 2021, maybe? Someone can comment down below, let me know. Or 22, Tour Series Ezra nuke. Should be beefy. Is a bit high. Wasn't a good snap on it though. Caught a late tree, that's all right. Those don't go in the bag. Comment down below, which one should I bag? I think I'm popping up in my head if I want to have my force. I've owned forces as my overstable distance driver. They feel super controllable, really nice. Parked the last hole with it, as you guys saw. But those distance nukes just go far, man. Nukes just go far. And those ones are definitely stable. Sometimes you got to worry because I didn't mention there is OB water right on this hole as well. So you've got to be careful of that. And so I like having a nuke because I love the nukes, as you guys know. And a more stable one might be handy to have just to get that good push. If I keep it a bit lower, it's going to get under these trees and hopefully get close to the basket. This is a good shot here with a force. Just inside circle, I'd say. I'm kind of sad that it's no longer the par 4 that we would normally play, but this is a good sort of like, gotta throw a good shot, tough par 3, so it's not too bad. But I definitely like the par 4 is probably one of my favorite holes on the course, but it was a little soft if you could, make the initial gap. But that's all right. Let's make this one. Oh, it's a little bit higher. That could be it. All right, okay. I think it's feeling pretty good, guys. Hopefully this will stay for the tournament. What a beautiful spot, guys. Check out that reflection. Wow. That is nice. So calm. Okay, hole 15, par 3, 100 meters. Another one of the signature holes on this course, which unfortunately has had some changes, which are less than ideal for the disc golf community. This path now runs all through it, which helps with pedestrians, but unfortunately not the nicest to play on when it was just a beautiful grassy fairway before. There's water left, danger, which you can kick easily into that. There's also, if you go too far right, especially closer to the basket, there's long grass, which you're probably not going to find your disc in that. And there's also a sign which is slightly bent now, which helps open up the gap a little bit, but that's also an extra thing to navigate. The path gives you skips, so it's a bit of an interesting one. Sometimes the path can actually help, and you can kind of slide along. If you land short, it can slide along, or you get a bit of a skip towards the basket. So you can use it to your advantage potentially. I'm going to try and throw a quake there because that's worked well. A couple of times I've thrown it recently, just try and get a kind of bit of a flex line to come out. You can throw mid-range, you can throw fairway driver to get anything, just kind of just goes dead straight, maybe a slight flex to shape the fairway. Oh, that's bad. That could be in the water. Considering that Anheuser's aren't my strongest shot, I don't really know why I'm choosing that, but I just got to really commit to it because this is stable enough to fight out. That's more like it. Yep. Nice. Okay. That was still a bit closer than I would have liked. And I'm not going to throw another one because that's risky. If you're throwing something overstable, you've really got to kind of, get over on it. But that was not too bad. You can just throw, and it's usually what my play would be to throw a flippier disc. That just kind of, you can throw it slight high to the flat and it just drifts. This one, you work the overstable to get the skip back towards the basket. So kind of whatever you're comfortable with, but if there's headwind, especially too, that's where things can get a little interesting and the overstability can help a bit more. I'll happily take this drive every day, about 90, 95, 94 meters. Nice. Hole 16, 128 meter par 3. So again, it's kind of combining two holes to form one hole. This one's a fun one, a bit of a doozy. In the middle of the fairway, you've got OB water that you have to clear. Well, you don't have to clear, I guess that's the thing, there's decision making. You can try and send it over the water. It's probably not overly far to clear. It then does play uphill though to the basket. And so if you want, you can kind of lay up short, just chip, and take a par, because it is a bit of a rip to get it there, especially with the uphill. Otherwise, you can send it, but then you bring that OB into play, and then there's also OB left and right of the basket, right with the water and left with the path. So if you have the arm for it, it's good to just kind of, I like to just sort of try and send it over on the first shot, even if it doesn't get super close, at least I'm over. A much more manageable shot than short, but in saying that, short is also playable too. It might not be long enough for those who are topping lead card MPO final day, but it could be interesting. Coming down to the wire, does someone play safe? Does someone go for it? Do they go OB? Are there stroke swings? I think there is possibly the potential for that. So we'll see. I'm gonna go with the nuke. Let's try and rip it, get it over the water. And then fade now. And then fade now, come on. Gee, that disc just keeps on turning these days. I don't know if that's safe. They might be just in the water. It hit some trees on the right side. Decent rip though. I'll try another one. That's flipping too, but it'll stable out. That's a great shot. Okay, so a little bit more left of that is ideal. So the landing short option is kind of this area here, ideally. You don't want to go too far because then OB is along that grass there just before the water. I mean, it's pretty manageable. I find depth perception from here is hard because you can't really tell going over the hill, but you can just sort of chip to here, chip over, take a par, less risk for some people. So there's options. Depending on where the OB line is, this may or may not be safe. Good distance, pin high, but just a bit right. And there's my other one, apart from that one up there. That was a pretty decent shot. Circle 2, maybe. You can kind of like fade just behind this tree, or maybe just in front of it, actually probably would be ideal to get you filtering in towards the basket. Maybe. Oh, what? Oh man, that could be it. Hey, that's what the first one should have done. Hey, hole 17, folks. We are almost there. This is a regular hole from the blue layout. 120 meter par 3, straight out there. The only thing now they've added in is OB on the right side tree line. So if you're throwing a forehand, you don't want it to fade and skip out there, or if you're throwing a backhand over all the OB the whole way, you want to make sure that it finishes in left. So usually I throw a forehand, and we're going to try that, even though it probably won't get there, but just a forehand that's going to go flat and hopefully then fade in towards the basket. Some people might also throw a sort of turnover backhand, left side of the power pole, that just goes in there and never has any chance of going out of bounds. So a few ways to attack it. Long hole, tricky hole. Let's send it. That's not the technique, Josh. That is not the technique. OB by a long way. Okay, let's try backhand out wide with a stable nuke. That's a safe play inside of those trees, hopefully. Yeah. That's what you'll see sometimes, is just safe hyzering in front of those trees. I'll throw one turn over line, we'll go onyx, try and get some turn on it. Don't hate that at all. Fade. That's pretty solid. That's a play as well, so you got options. Okay, so not amazing shots. Circle 2, maybe 3. Those are the turnovers, these were the other ones. And also you might notice the camera's moving, Warwick is back. So comment, glad you're back, Warwick, in the comments down below. So these are all right, better than being OB, though we'd like to be a little bit closer for our birdie look, but let's give it a go. Oh, that was it. Oh, that was it. Hey, pretty decent attempts, so we'll take that. Okay, folks, we've made it hole 18, and what a hole 18 it is. This is actually the hole that was played 2020 Queensland Champs, which was my first ever disc golf tournament, and it is a doozy. It's definitely one that could create some score separation. So you got 236 meter par 4. The fairway goes just down here, and then it bends to the left, so the second half of the hole. You've got 5 mandos, I think, along this left side, just to keep you out of where the car's gonna be parked, the field on the left. So just really the trees there, but you've also got the OB, I think it's OB path, all along the left side, and then if you go far enough and get to the road to the right, which you shouldn't, there, but there's also this line of trees you can see on all along the right-hand side, which if you go into there, it's tricky to scramble from. So you'll see some different options. You can go just a straight backhand, which is, I think, maybe preferable. If it pushes straight enough and just doesn't go too much left or right, it looks good. You could also go forehand. I've seen people throwing forehand kind of over the path and then skipping back down to the bottom of the hill to give a look for the second shot. So we'll try both of those, but I think the play for me is going to be backhand first. Little pulled, kick left. Okay. That was really close. That one, as you guys have seen, that one's getting a little flippy, so it's got to be a bit touchy with the angle control. We'll go another backhand. That's a shot. Now fade. Oh yes, Warwick. Oh yes, Warwick. That's the shot. That's like, I don't think I could throw that much better. We'll try a forehand as well on the left side. I think it's tricky. There's danger both ways, but I think the forehand brings kind of that bushy clump into play, which then makes it hard to throw your second shot. But we'll try and get a good forehand out there. Nope. Fade. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like a safe forehand. This was a really good drive, but even then, it's good. I can't complain. Down there would be lovely if I was to be really picky. Then you got a bit more of a line, and I'm not running up on a hill. But the basket, if you can see the big tree, so sort of straight ahead of me, the basket is just left and back of that a little bit. So from here, I'm probably going to try and throw just an overstable distance driver wide right and hopefully get a big skip back to the left behind the tree. If it goes in front, that's probably fine as well. You just don't want to saw it off and go OB left. If I was a little bit further here, it'd be a little bit better, or I could even have a flex forehand from there, but here, we'll just go overstable nuke. Fade. Go. Oh, it's a little deep. That's pretty good. That's like what I was wanting to do, but maybe it's a little wide. Hi. I landed here, which is probably early circle 2, so not too bad. And you can see what we're working with here. So I got behind the big tree, which worked out well. If I could have faded a little bit more, would have got me closer, but I'll take this every day. You can fade in as well and just have an uphill putt, but I've got a downhill look at the basket. Can't complain too much about that. It's a good one, so we're gonna give it a putt and finish with a birdie. There's no basket, obviously. Oh yes! What a birdie! That was incredible. What a way to finish. Ching! All right, that will do it for the Queensland Open practice round. I hope that was helpful. If you're coming to Queensland Open, comment down below if you're coming, when we'll see you there and what division you're playing in. And actually, the Commtest, the comment contest for this video, it's going to be, what is a disc golf term that you could use in another context? I want you to explain that, put it in, explain it. The most creative, the one that I like the most, I'm going to pin that comment. So I'd love to hear what you can come up with. That should be really fun, but hope you enjoyed. Hope that you've had a wonderful day. Make sure you make it great for somebody else too, and we'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, come out to Queensland Open, July 4th to 6th. Come watch some of Australia's best players. See ya.